Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. It seems like we should have had some dramatic music as I walked in the picture there. I'll have to get with my production staff about it. Hey, I'm Steve Watkins. Welcome to my little YouTube show I call Ozark Garden and Grub. We're here at my place that I call Tranquility Base in the Ozark Mountains near Mountain View, Arkansas. I'm just a country boy, writer, author, journalist who really enjoys cooking and working in the garden. And it is about the food, but more than anything, it's about community. I believe food, sitting around a table, sharing stories, it's all about community. And we need so much more of that in the world today. I feel like it's a part of my calling to try to raise awareness of that and do my part to make things like that happen. So wanted to show you one quick thing that I've got going on during this last week, and this will be a short video and you're not going to see a lot of the background with this. But back during Christmas, I decided to invest in a crock. Now, you guys have heard of crock pots, and all of us cook in a crock pot, and honestly, I think it's one of the greatest devices ever invented. But back in the old days, people used these a lot. It's made pretty much out of the same materials, heavy porcelain or glass. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it's very heavy, it's very dense, it's pretty much airtight, and you can create, through the fermentation process, you can create all kinds of stuff with this. People make great crunchy pickles with this over a several week period. You can create all kinds of vegetables. 1 week ago today, today's Sunday, 7 days ago, I chopped up a head and a half of fresh cabbage, and I had read a recipe about creating sauerkraut in the crock. And so for the past 7 days, I've had cabbage fermenting in here. I'm going to pull it out today, jar it and store it, and we're going to kind of see what it's like. Just to tell you a little bit about it, about the process that I did 1 week ago today. Took a head and a half of cabbage, chopped it up to the coarseness that I thought I might prefer, and I am amazed at the simplicity of how you can make this sauerkraut. It is as simple as getting a cutting board, chopping up your cabbage. Most of the recipes I saw, it needs a salt. I use sea salt because it's a finer salt and it does not contain any iodine. That's supposed to be helpful in this process. But it's as simple as cutting up your cabbage, putting it in the crock, pushing it down, trying to get it down there real tight. You've previously mixed some salt, about 3-4 tablespoons of salt I put with a head and a half of cabbage, mixed it up, put it in a big wash bowl, a big stainless wash pan, stirred it up, and I let it sit for about 30 minutes. Now, what the salt does with cabbage is one of those foods that contains an extreme amount of water. That salt just begins to draw the liquid out of the cabbage. It creates its own liquid. After about 30-40 minutes, you take it, put it in here, push it down, put some weights on it. My crock came with some weights, and it naturally goes through the fermentation process all on its own over the course of 5, 6, 7 days, whatever you prefer, and according to what you want the taste to be like, how actually sour you want your sauerkraut to be. Been 7 days. I'm going to pull it out and see what it's like. We're going to jar it up. And by the way, they say that sauerkraut created through this fermentation process is one of the world's great superfoods, contains all kinds of antioxidants and a crazy amount of vitamin C. I'll be honest with you, I was never that crazy about sour. My mom used to make it. I was never crazy about it, but I got the crock. I wanted to try this, so let's see what it's like. I just take my lid off, and this thing is heavy, man. One of the things that's really key in putting your sauerkraut in here is that you want it to be weighted down. You want it to be pushed down tight. And so I've got this little deal here. I don't even remember what this is called, but this is what I mix up, grind up some of my spices in. And my crock came, by the way, this is a 3-gallon crock. I chose that just because I figured it would be more useful for me than a 1 or a 2 or a 5. These, you can see these weights, they're pretty heavy. I put those down on the cabbage. I'm gonna set those over here. And one of the last things I did was tear off several big leaves from the cabbage, put it down so it would help cover all of the cabbage that I cut up. You can see I've got leaves, you know, about this size. I'm gonna take those off real quickly. This looks like sauerkraut. Hopefully you can see kind of the coarseness that I cut this to. I didn't cut it up real fine. I wanted to have a good crunch to it. I don't know if it does or not, but let's after a weekend, it's hard to believe that you can put a food like this in a crock and leave it for a week. And now I'm going to eat it. I hope it doesn't do anything bad to me. Let's see what it's like. Definitely has a good crunch to it. Has a sour bite to it. Almost tastes a little peppery. You can taste the salt. That's good. You want this to be a good bit salty, according to your taste. I'm surprised by the peppery taste because there's none in there. But you know what we're going to do now? I'm going to take all this cabbage. I bought some 1-gallon jars this year to store things like this in. We're going to put it in here. At that point, I'm going to store it in the refrigerator. I'm going to share it with some friends next week. I'm going to eat some of it myself and enjoy it. And later this afternoon, I'm going to use some of this to make a shepherd's pie. Ooh, it's going to be good. It's a cold, rainy day here at Tranquility Base. I'm going to layer that shepherd's pie, pop it in the oven. I'm going to enjoy it all afternoon. Y'all, that's how simple it is to make sauerkraut in a crock. Get you some cabbage, sharp knife and a cutting board, a little sea salt, maybe even a little kosher salt if you prefer that. Put it in there, let it sit weight it down, let it sit for a week. Sauerkraut. Hey, I appreciate you guys watching. We'll do more and more shows as the year progresses. I'm learning how to do this, learning about my equipment here, and just trying to be more intentional about taking time to record these videos and put them out there. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you reading and all the stuff. Love interacting with you guys on social media. Keep it up. Good things coming this year in 2022. God bless you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.